James, I'm late. What's the time, James?
Oh, you got 5 minutes, Colin.
I've got 5 minutes.
Got 5 minutes.
Right.
No one's around. You're right.
Has that Amanda been about?
No, she hasn't been around today.
Okay, right. Okay. I went and had a few drinks with a geezer over the pub. He invited me over there. He said, come and have a few Christmas drinks, he said, Colin. So I thought, nice invitation. I'll have some of that.
Not like you, Colin.
I see you've got my glass ready for me, thank you. How long we got, James?
About 4 or 5 minutes, Colin.
4 or 5 minutes, okay, so then we can kick off. We'll kick off then, yeah? It's Billy Fury, don't knock on my door. Hi there, cats and kittens, it's Radio Sutch coming to you from the Gun Towers in North Wales. It's your host with a tea and toast. We're having a laugh. On Live 365. And what have we got for you today? We've got some lovely British rock and roll. I'll keep you on a string. Honey, you look too much anything but don't knock upon the door. I don't want you anymore. I don't love you as before. Will you get me just before? Billy Fury there, come along, let's rock. It's Vince Taylor and the Playboys. Well, my baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. Yeah, you guessed it, folks, it's a brand new Cadillac. I tell you what, you know, you've got to give it to them, the old British rock and rollers. They did try hard. They weren't very successful, but they did try. No, seriously, you're having a laugh. They did very well actually, when you think about it. I was there at the Two Eyes Coffee Bar, you know, in London, Soho, when all this lot started. Oh yes, I was. And I could sing a little bit, oh yes. Not any longer, I had a nodule cut out of my throat, and now look at me, I'm on the uppers. Taylor and the Playboys there with Brand New Cadillac. Now then, coming up, it's Sticky Pride. Slipping and a sliding. Wait for it, I know you're waiting for that wonderful story that I'm going to tell you this week, aren't you? Well, I've got news for you, I'm not going to. No, seriously, I am. Oh yes, I've got a story for you this week, without a doubt. But I'm rather enjoying this music, aren't you? Hi there, my fans. It's the legend, Colin. You're having a laugh. James told me to say that. He said I was a legend. Anyway, we better turn the music down, as lovely as it is, and I'll tell you a little story about the gun towers and Radio Sutch. Now, do you remember in 1964 when we started Radio Sutch? When we started Radio Sutch in 1964, we started in May of 64, and in March of 64, Caroline had started. April of 64, London had started. Now, what you've got to remember is that Radio Caroline, shut up you, I've had enough of you. He keeps on, that's that Mort Schumann, all the way from the US of A. In 1964, Caroline started, but you've got to remember about Radio Caroline, a lot of money pushed into Radio Caroline. Ronan O'Reilly, who was the guy behind Radio Caroline, was a multi-millionaire, and he bought this boat and he set it all up, and he had people like Tony Blackburn, the Emperor Roscoe, and all those sort of people working on there. And it was paying them a bloody fortune, and they only had to snap their fingers and they got a beer on demand, or a glass of gin, or a coffee, or a tea. Everything was comfortable for them. They had beautiful cabins, they had everything they wanted. And then in April, along came Radio London, which was American backed. And there was millions behind Radio London. All the jingles that they put up, it was so professional. And there was dear old Radio Sutch on the gun towers in the May of '64. We started. We hadn't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. We got one turntable, one microphone, a generator, and a tiny little transmitter, and about 50 records. And that's how Radio Sutch was started. But do you know what? We had the best fun on Radio Sutch. There's no doubts about it. Now, old Reg Calvert, he was a bit of a miserable old sod. And he, to be fair, he was scraping the barrel because he bought that Clifton Hall up in Rugby, and it was costing him an arm and a leg. And he used to put all the groups up there, and these groups were like the Fortunes and people like that, and he used to bed and breakfast them. But I digress. I've got to tell you about what happened on Radio Sutch. When old Reg used to go home to Clifton Hall on a Friday night, all hell used to break loose. We got Fred Downs and his Harvester 1 and 2, that's boats. He was the bloke who supplied us. He'd bring out these dolly birds. All these birds have been queuing up all week to get out on Radio Sutch. And let me tell you, oh, orgies, you've never seen nothing like it. When the birds arrived, the blokes all got whippy. We're having a marvellous time here. Tony Dangerfield, my old mate Tony Dangerfield, the bird puller as we called him. He used to walk about stark bollock naked with about 6 birds trailing after him. Oh, you know why? Because they all wanted a charvering. Oh, God. Then there was Brian Paul. He had a bird on each arm and another one in the locker room. Oh, God. Pussy Mew, Jeff Pussy Mew, who now works out in the Middle East. He's married, but he was single then, so he won't mind me telling you. He had his fair share of the dollies. Oh, there was dollies everywhere. And David Sutch, he couldn't get enough of them. But I'll tell you what they used to do, some of these. I never did it, no, because I'm a bit of a Christian. But I'll tell you what they used to do. They used to slap all these eider-downs on the floor and these blankets, and then they'd be all at it. There'd be like 12 in the bed. You've never seen anything like it. Sex, the air was heavy with it. Oh, God. Anyway, we had some fabulous times on Radio Sutch. I don't know what Tony Blackburn was doing on Caroline, the miserable little sod, who couldn't get to the BBC fast enough. But I will tell you some more stories about Radio Sutch and all the birdies that used to queue up there, waiting for our attention, because we were good-looking boys in those days. I think we better go back to the music. I'm getting the thumbs down signal here from James.
Let's get together. Once more, talk of the weather, baby. Once more,
oh, I forgot to tell you. The next day, instead of flying flags, we were flying knickers. Red, black, pink and blue. Oh, God. Fill your boots. You're only young once.
Just me and you.